Time for us to head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. This one about the Cavs in the second half of the season.
With the NBA trade deadline and everything passing and all the massive trades like James Harden to Philly and the Nets getting Ben Simmons and Seth Curry and Andre Drummond, etc. Like, what are the Cavs' chances to win the title after all those trades and everything went down?
All right, we certainly appreciate the voicemails. And, when you look at this, Evan, I think Cavs are a couple years, I won't say a couple years. Cavs are ahead of schedule. I don't think anybody saw this as the breakout season in the rebuild, but, they got there. I think the goal for the Cavs should be make the playoffs, host a playoff series, win a first-round playoff series. If you do those three things, it's been a great year. The Nets are going to be tough. The Bucks are going to be tough. 76ers are going to be tough. Those three, in my mind, even the Heat, those kind of three or four are kind of the heavyweights in the East. Cavs are there, but again, it's young in the first time being in that intense playoff-type basketball.
Yeah, but the NBA playoffs are a different beast than the regular season. I think the joke for a while was Mike Budenholzer with the Milwaukee Bucks. He was a great regular season coach, but didn't know how to adjust to teams zeroing in on you and just trying to exploit your mismatches and weaknesses. That's what made Ty Lue such a great coach for the Cavs when he was kind of vanilla and the Cavs would just get through the regular season. But as soon as they went to the playoffs, they flipped the switch. They looked like a completely different monster out there. I think there's going to be some pressure, I think, both internally just for these young guys who want to go out there and win for this city and win for the Cavs organization in general, because it's a big deal. It'll be the first time that the team under Dan Gilbert's ownership has made the playoffs without LeBron James on their roster, so that's certainly significant in itself. And you have to consider that and just the added pressure, like I said, of just teams zeroing in on you and just kind of figuring out what your weaknesses, maybe some exploits are. It depends on who they play, too, because like you said, there is certainly an upper echelon. Ever since Philadelphia made that trade to get James Harden, I agree they're in the conversation. I've always felt Brooklyn was there just because they already have Kevin Durant, who's arguably one of the best players at his position, and Kyrie Irving, when he is available, is helpful. Miami has been consistently great this year, especially on defense. Milwaukee are the defending champions, so you have to give them the respect as they deserve it. And, the Cavs can be in the mix record-wise with those guys. I mean, Chicago, too. They're a team that needs to prove it, I think, still, just because they are a young team. But they are equipped right now, at least record-wise and personnel-wise, to really make some noise in the playoffs. It's going to be a hard race for the Cavs. I'm interested to see who they draw in the first round. I think that might come into consideration down the stretch. Do they want to see Philadelphia for a 7-game series? Do they want to see Brooklyn? Or do they want to maybe play Chicago or try and sneak in and make the race for the first seed so they can kind of have their pick of playing the weakest team possible? There's a lot of variables at play. And like you said, I think getting to the playoffs is already an accomplishment in itself and should be celebrated because nobody had the Cavs being a playoff team. And if you have that on your bingo card, congratulations, check it off. You are one step closer to winning something, I guess. But getting there is an accomplishment. Like you said, hosting a first-round series is an accomplishment. I think that is easily obtainable for them. And getting out of the first round could be possible. It depends on who they play, obviously. I can't see into the future. If I would, probably be betting on the lottery at this point. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this Cavs team responds because the playoffs are certainly a different beast, and it'll be a lot of fun either way because, again, the expectations were less than low for this team this season, and them to kind of just shatter every preconceived notion and continue to do so just makes it more compelling to watch where they end up.
And the flip side of it is they will be a little bit of a tough matchup because of the three bigs that they have, the 3 7-footers.